Today, we're talking with the General Counsel of the Minnesota Timberwolves, Suzanne Spellacy, about all the legal issues she faces on a daily basis. Please join us. Hello and welcome to Lawyers with Game. I'm your host, Darius Gambino. I'm an attorney with Saul Ewing in Philadelphia. I'm also a lifelong gamer, playing on the PlayStation 5, and my PlayStation Network ID is EaglesFan71. I've also advised clients for over 20 years on issues related to patents, trademarks, and copyrights. With me today is my colleague, Leah Leyendecker. Leah and I are both members of the video gaming and esports group here at Saul Ewing. Leah, maybe you could say a few words about yourself and your practice.
Yeah, thanks, Darius. I'm Leah Leyendecker, an attorney in the Minneapolis office of Saul Ewing. And like Darius, I advise clients on intellectual property and technology issues and work closely with organizations in the sports, entertainment, and esports and gaming industries.
Thanks, Leah. And it is our honor and privilege to have Suzanne Spellacy with us today. She is the General Counsel of the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Minnesota Lynx, the Iowa Wolves G League, and T-Wolves Gaming in the NBA 2K League. Suzanne, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's a lot of different organizations, and I'm sure you wear a lot of hats in your daily role. I wanted to start out by asking you, we all took a different path from law school. What was your path from law school to the position that you're in now, which is the General Counsel of an NBA franchise?
My path was probably a little atypical. Never thought I'd end up working in sports. I graduated from law school and started working at a law firm in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area doing litigation, both commercial and employment law, and really enjoyed that and stayed there for about 8 years and planned to continue my career there. But at some point, I got married, and my husband and I both decided that we wanted to move back to our hometown of Mankato, Minnesota. There was only one company there that hired in-house lawyers, and that was Taylor Corporation. So I accepted a job at Taylor and actually thought I was taking a pretty big step back in my legal career. I thought, well, nothing happens in Mankato, Minnesota, where I'm from. But as it turns out, nothing could have been further from the truth, because Taylor is a diversified global company with many different subsidiaries, including ownership of the Timberwolves and Lynx. So I worked there for quite a long time, had many opportunities, and along the way started doing some of the legal work for the Timberwolves and the Lynx. In 2012, I became the General Counsel of Taylor Corporation with responsibility for all of their holdings, including doing, again, the work for the Timberwolves and Lynx. Then I took a different job outside the Taylor organization as Jack Link's Beef Jerky General Counsel from 2019 to 2021, but still really keeping in touch with all my friends at Taylor and the Timberwolves. And in 2021, they created their first in-house full-time general counsel role. I believe I was the first applicant for the position, and that's what got me here today.
That's awesome. Leah?
Yeah, Suzanne, I'd love for you to talk about what a typical day looks like for you and the kinds of legal matters that you are routinely handling for the Timberwolves and Lynx.
Sure. Like many of us in law, there's no such thing as a typical day, but there are definitely some trends. And the time of year that we're speaking, we're in our off season for the Timberwolves, but we are in season for the Lynx. And I don't know if people can hear it on the camera, but right behind me, the members of the Lynx team are practicing. So you might hear a little bit of squeaking and court noise. But so we have some different periods of our year. During the Timberwolves off season, I'm doing more work that's getting ready for the upcoming season. So all vendor agreements tend to renew during the summer months. We're getting ready for our new season, so we might have new sponsorship agreements. Data agreements are huge in every sports team right now, so maybe new data vendors coming on board. And also employment contracts for the coaching and front office staffs renew over the summer. So those are the types of things I work on. During the season of the Timberwolves, it gets a little bit more crazy with the heavy game schedule, a lot more last minute requests. So marketing sweepstakes rules pop up frequently. There may be, when you have a lot of part-time staff, different employment issues may arise at different games, and so you kind of help troubleshoot those issues, and just a lot more last-minute requests. But really stays busy throughout the year. The type of work changes a little bit, though.
Thinking back over your time with the teams, are there any particularly complex or exciting legal issues that you've had to navigate?
One thing that really surprised me in terms of how detailed it is after having joined the team is every year all NBA teams have what's called a City Edition uniform. And that actually creates a variety of interesting legal challenges and legal work to do. So we just launched our 2023-2024 City Edition uniform. That creates everything from NDA requests to artist work for hire agreements, maybe a sweepstakes associated with the jersey launch, activation agreements, just a whole host of things. And I would have never known that, as somebody looking at the uniforms on the court, how much there is kind of going on behind the scenes when you launch a new uniform.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite parts of the NBA. I really like the new jersey, the City Edition jersey that you put out. It kind of, I think the intention was for it to go to an image of summer on the lake in Minnesota, right? It's like it's very summery and light, and it has a kind of like a lake image within it. Did you wind up working with local artists on that?
On that particular design, I'm not sure if that was an artist design, but certainly there were a number of local artists engaged for art related to the activation of the uniform, the marketing activations,
Right.
whether that's the launch party that we had or different advertisements you're going to see in market. Yeah, it's to evoke lake life in Minnesota, which we're hoping our fans will like. It's a big part of the life here.
Yeah, no, I love it. One of the things I wanted to ask you about also with that, with in relation to IP, is we saw the Brooklyn Nets get a little bit of hot water a couple years ago with their City Edition jersey, which was kind of a tribute to the Notorious B.I.G., and it had elements of Coogee sweaters in it. And I know that in the past you've done like similar odes to musicians in the Minneapolis scene, like you did a Purple Rain jersey a couple years ago, which had kind of the lettering style of the cover of the Purple Rain album. Did you wind up working with the Prince estate at all on that one, if you can speak about that?
Yeah, I probably can't talk in particular, but certainly anytime we have a great marketing team and I have a good partnership with them. So we work very closely together and we definitely make sure we've got our right IP rights all buttoned up. The Prince inspired jersey that you mentioned was one of our most popular City Edition jerseys.
Yeah.
So we still hear from fans that want us to bring that one back.
Yeah, please do. I love that one. So what about anything that, surprised you along the way, as the general counsel, things that this just occurred as, you were taking care of your daily responsibilities that really kind of surprised you in a good way?
One of the things that surprised me is, especially given that the teams on the court are so competitive, is how helpful other NBA team council are. And you kind of think, well, they're the rival teams, why would they help me? But as it turns out, the NBA team council group is a very collegial, very collaborative group. We have regular calls, and often if somebody has a novel question or something that came up, an arena issue, for example, if you throw it out there to the group, very often there's one or two group members that have dealt with the same issue, and they're more than happy to share their experiences, share their advice on how they resolve the issue. And that's been a really, really fun and rewarding part of the job, is just, again, getting to know those other team council, learning from each other, and kind of swapping stories.
Yeah, because I'm sure you all face a lot of the same issues, and it's great to have that support group of people to talk to, I'm sure.
We do. We
Yeah.
all love last minute sweepstakes, for example.
Yeah. Well, we get a lot of last minute requests from our clients too, especially related to marketing initiatives that they want to roll out ASAP, right, Leah? So
Yes,
I'll kick it to you for another question.
Yeah. So Suzanne, we were hoping you could talk about, maybe some of the changes in the NBA's new collective bargaining agreement, related to player contracts and investments and how those have impacted your role.
Yes. If you follow the NBA, you know that over the summer a new collective bargaining agreement was signed between the players and the league, and that really dictates so many things about our business. And in the news, a lot of the focus is on salary cap structure, which is certainly a big impact. A lesser known fact is that there's a lot of rules sort of just about the business of our teams and how we interact with players and so forth. So the new CBA, which we're all still studying and still learning the rules about, just has some expanded opportunities for example, marketing agreements using player attributes or promotional images that are promoting the team in the NBA. So all of those things have rules underneath them, and the new CABA kind of gave us some expanded opportunities there.
One of the other things I wanted to ask you about is kind of the future, what's going on over the next 12 months or so in your role. I know the NBA has some global games coming up in Abu Dhabi. Can you speak about some of the things that are on the horizon?
We're very excited to be involved in this year's global games in Abu Dhabi, and the Timberwolves and the Mavericks will be playing 2 preseason games in Abu Dhabi in October. And it's really part of the growth of the NBA, seeing the international interest that we have, and so we're glad to be part of that this year. That also does create some legal issues, not as many as you may think, just because it's part of a big NBA initiative, but certainly some international marketing opportunities and working on sponsorship activations in the market. So excited to have that be part of our season.
Well, that's all the time that we have for today on Lawyers with Game. I really want to thank Suzanne Spellacy for coming on and talking about all the different types of things that she does for the T-Wolves, the Lynx, T-Wolves Gaming, the Iowa Wolves. Thank you so much, Suzanne, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So if you have any questions about any of the topics that we talked about today, drop them into the comments and we'll try to answer them without providing any actual legal advice. Keep in mind that this series is intended to be a very general discussion of legal issues in the video game and esports space. It is not intended as actual legal advice. If you need actual legal advice, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you. Until next time, I'm Darius and this is Leah, and we are Lawyers with Game. We'll see you next time.